One of my favorite things about going to a game at Jordan-Hare Stadium when I was a kid was seeing the defense, Auburn defense, and it was the letter D, and then it was the white picket fence that somebody would hold up. And
Okay.
so, yeah.
You don't see that as much now.
No, you don't. I think we should bring that back. Somebody from the student section needs to bring that back. Don't leave it to Aubie to do. Let's get the old defense artwork in the crowd.
I'm trying to think what my favorite, growing up, going to Jordan-Hare Stadium, what my favorite thing that I saw. I know what it was.
Okay.
I know what it is. Tommy Tuberville looking at it and saying, click, clack.
Click, clack.
Click, clack.
Spurrier. That was one of the first Under Armour, moment of silence for Under Armour. It was one of the first Under Armour like TV campaigns. Tuberville did it. Spurrier did it. Yeah, click, clack.
Yeah, there'd be like a commercial, or it'd be like an Auburn player working out, and somebody would be like, click. They'd do like a few bench presses, and then somebody would clack. And we thought it was so cool. Yeah. And now that I'm thinking about it, like, man, that sounds super lame.
Well, now it might sound that way.
But at that moment, it was so cool.
19 years ago, it was phenomenal. This is the phenomenal Village Vice. He is Zach Blackerby. I'm Brad Law. Today's show brought to you by mybookie.ag. 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000 plus a $10 casino chip when you use promo code BARN at mybookie.ag. So thanks for checking that out, and thanks for watching our show. Defense. Last year's defense was fine. I don't think anybody's blaming any of the losses. I don't think at any point you blamed losses on the defense.
Agreed.
And I want to kind of look into, we're going to take a look at the back end of the defense a little later in this episode, but something encouraging and frustrating at the same time. It's encouraging for 25. It's frustrating when you, like, man, the more you decompress 2024, the more you want to pull your hair out strand by strand. There's no reason Auburn should have lost some of the games that it lost last year.
Sure. I mean, we talk about some of the roster comparisons between Auburn last year and the teams that they played, and I definitely think Auburn's more talented than Arkansas a year ago.
Yeah.
The Cal game, I do think Auburn's roster was better, but seeing how Cal was represented, especially on the defensive side of the ball in the NFL draft, it gives me a little bit of pause with that take, but I still stand by it. Like, I don't think, I don't know, man. I felt like in a lot of these close games, these winnable games, the other teams just looked more prepared than Auburn.
Okay.
Which to me screams coaching.
Okay.
But
what does that mean? When you say they look more prepared, though, what exactly does that mean?
Doesn't look like our offense ever had a plan, Brad. Okay. Or it would take way too long to, I mean, scoring the amount of points that they did against Vanderbilt last year.
Yeah.
Is crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And some of the stuff with like Cal and Arkansas, just turnover after turnover early in those games.
Yeah.
Some of it's fluky. Cam Coleman dropping a pass and it flies into the arm of a Cal defender.
Yeah.
Or, I think it was Hank's I think it was his third pick that he threw against Arkansas, and Hugh Freeze on Tiger Talk was like, that was his favorite play. That, so it's like, that's kind of what you wanted. Some of it I think was fluky, but some of it is like, if it keeps happening, like, you got to look at the common denominators. So
yeah,
I miscommunication in key situations. And, it's come out that, quarterbacks are sharing that, Hugh Freeze wasn't always in those meetings and stuff. Like, it just seemed like there was lack of communication. And I think that has to do with, lack of preparedness.
Separate conversation topic for another show, because this is a pretty important question, I think. Is this offense set up for success based on the primary tenet of what it's trying to do or what it does? And that is give the quarterback so much autonomy and expect him to read the defense, to read all these disguised this and that and the other, and make the right play call, make the right option, choose the right option in the RPO? Or is it better sometime, versus scheme a way to get your best players the ball on 4th and 1, run the ball? Like, you know what I mean? Are we at, what is the basic tenet of the offense? Is it the quarterback gets the final say, it's up to him, so that if a mistake is made, you go, well, he made the wrong read. Okay. Or Cam Coleman and Eric Singleton and Malcolm Simmons should have the 3 highest number of touches among offensive players this year. Are they going at the end of the year because you've schemed it to get them the ball?
Yeah.
That's a separate.
I was about to say, do you want me to respond to that, or are we talking about it another time?
No, we'll talk about it another time.
Okay, great.
All right. Auburn's 2025 SEC opponents. Here were their ranks last year in total offense and scoring offense in the SEC. Okay. Oklahoma was 14th in total, 15th in scoring. No business losing that game, but that's last year. Looking ahead to this year, and Auburn's defense this year, they're 14th and 15th. Texas A&M was 9th and 9th. Okay, middle of the pack. Georgia was 10th in total offense.
Wow.
And they have a new quarterback. They were 5th in scoring offense, so they were top 3rd there, but 10th in yardage. Missouri was 11th and 10th total in scoring. Arkansas,
really?
Yeah.
That surprises me a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Arkansas was 2nd in total offense, 6th in scoring. Kentucky, 15th and 16th.
People are sleeping on Taylor Green, by the way.
Yeah. Vanderbilt, 16th and 13th. Alabama, 7th and 3rd. So this year, Auburn misses the teams that last year ranked 1st, 3rd, 4th, and 5th in total offense, and Auburn was 6th. So by all reasonable standards, you shouldn't see a drop-off defensively based on the competition.
Yeah.
Like, at worst, you ought to be able to hold about where you were defensively, which should be fine. Am I wrong in that?
No, I don't think you're wrong on that. I don't think you're wrong on that at all. I think Auburn has one of the best young defenses in the conference, and you could even zoom out and say college football. To me, it's all about the offense when it comes to the game plan and when it comes to execution. So, you mentioned a few of those, like Arkansas. I'm high on Arkansas's quarterback, but like that's it. That's a team that feels like Sam Pittman is a dead man walking. So we'll see what happens. Missouri's a team where I think they're going to be worse this season. I think their quarterback has more upside with Bo Pribula, but I don't think he's what they've had the last few years. And then you lose Luther Burton. They lost some edge guys. They lost both of their offensive tackles. Like, there's just a lot going on with them taking a step back. I think that'd be a reasonable thing for Missouri. Yeah. Kentucky's quarterback is Zach Calzada. Like, all right. I'm sure that's going to be like emotional. He's going to have a chip on his shoulder. He's already talked about how excited he is to play at Auburn. Good for you, Zach Calzada. I can't wait for you to come here. And then like the Diego Pavia thing with Vandy, like surely Freeze isn't going to go 0-3 against Pavia, right? Yeah. Surely. So
you would think you would think that this would be a team, and especially at that point of the year, early November. I don't know, but don't call me Shirley.
Airplane?
It's an airplane. Very good. How in the blessed heck do you know airplane, but not? Jeez.
Airplane's hilarious.
Yeah, it is. I'm just shocked that you knew it. I was sure I was going to have to explain that one. Kudos to you.
Thanks, buddy.
Kudos to you.
Somebody commented like once last week. They're like, has Zach ever seen a movie? I just watched The Lord of the Rings over and over and over again.
It's a fair question. Fair question.
It's one worth asking. For sure.
Auburn's turnover margin. How many interceptions did Auburn have last year as a defense? Do you remember?
Ooh. I can't imagine it was that. It didn't feel like it was that much.
It was 8.
Yeah.
It's the fewest in the league.
It's the fewest in the league.
Fewest in the league.
Wow.
I was shocked to see. I didn't remember that few.
Fewest picks or fewest turnovers?
Fewest interceptions.
Wow.
They had 5 fumbles recovered,
Uh-huh.
which was also pretty low.
Sure.
So a -9 turnover margin. It's not just the interceptions that happen more in the front half of the year, but this was not a defense that, like, if you're looking for the main area of improvement, you got to get off the field on 3rd down, and you want to turn some teams over. Give the offense the short field. And I think that you're set up to do that maybe a little better. Last year, all right, next step of it. Well, let me get into my next defensive point after you tell our good people about Roback, please.
Yes, Roback.com, RHOBACK.com is where you can go to buy all of the greatest collared shirts, your polos, your quarter zips, your performance hoodies. They've got hats and pants and shorts and everything that you can imagine over at Roback.com. It's going to be high quality. It's going to last a long time. It's going to look good. It's going to be comfortable. What else can you ask for?
Nothing.
20% off. Use promo code VICE20 at Roback.com. Use promo code VICE20 for 20% off your order. Roback.com.
Just when I thought it couldn't get any better, you come in with the 20% off.
Yeah, I don't know how you didn't see that coming. We do this every time.
I was already sold. In fact, I think I'm going to go buy a new polo today from Roback.com.
I love that.
So Keldrick Falk made such a huge jump from his freshman year to his sophomore year.
Sure.
9 more tackles, but he had 1 sack his freshman year, 7 sacks last year.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the sophomore that makes a Falk-like jump this year for Auburn?
Has to be a sophomore.
Yeah, I'm
not a second-year guy in the system, but it has to be a sophomore.
Yes.
On the defensive front, it's Malik Blockton.
Okay.
And just in general, I will go Jay Crawford.
Okay.
Jay Crawford is an NFL corner.
Sure. If both
Malik
of those...
Blockton is an NFL defensive lineman.
Yeah.
I remember talking to Marcus Harris after a Senior Bowl practice down in Mobile, 2 years ago. And I mean, he looked me in the eye and he's like, he's better than me. And I'm like, okay, whatever. But like, I mean, he's got a ways to go.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Like, he's not better than Marcus yet, but he's off to a heck of a start.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll go with Malik Blockton.
Blockton, Crawford, and DeMarcus Riddick combined for 58 tackles last year. 9 tackles for loss. Jay Crawford broke up 7 passes last year.
Jay Crawford was unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's the most, I'm going to say it, most underrated player in the SEC.
Ooh, I like that take. I like that take a lot.
He's everything you want in a corner.
Yeah.
I could gush about Jay Crawford for 30 minutes if you wanted me to, but we're not going to.
Which leads me to, does Auburn have one of the best secondaries in college football?
I think so. I mean, I think they've got a great mix of proven guys, as well as guys with just tremendous upside. With Eric Winters coming in and Fagans. I mean, they've got guys who can do so many different things. But I mean, your corner trio, and I'm counting them all as corners because I think Champ Anthony's going to play at nickel more than corner this year. But
great
with Kayan Lee, Jay Crawford, and Champ Anthony.
Yeah.
That's just a lot for an offense to have to worry about. And then you talk about like how just solid Caleb Harris was a year ago, and just the competition that's happening with Winters and like Sylvester Smith. Like, it's just crazy. You list all these guys and like 3 or 4 of these guys aren't going to start when you talk about the 2 deep. So does Auburn have one of the best? Yes, they do. The issue is they don't have like a whole lot of older guys. They don't have that veteran. And I do think Jaron Thompson was a little underrated last year in that regard.
Yeah.
But, and I don't love doing this. I don't love just throwing out exceptions just because it fits a narrative. But it does seem like Caleb Harris, as a guy that's going to be your middle of the field defender, it does seem like he's way ahead of where he's supposed to be when it comes to his age and maturity as a safety, where I feel a little bit more okay with it.
No question. That's something that we talked about last year. The coaches talked about how he's like a coach on the field. He's got a really high football IQ for a guy his age.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had So he had 44 tackles last year. 28 of those came in the last 5 games. 64% of his tackles in the last 16 of those, over a third of his tackles, came in the last 2 games. So you get settled in, get used to it, and then take off.
Right.
Why couldn't one of the incoming freshmen who are so talented defensively do the same type of thing this year? And the answer is no. I think it's fair to expect that they will.
Yeah, assuming there's snaps to be had. I think there were more snaps up for grabs for last year's class than this year's class. Not that they're not worthy of it. I just think it's going to be tougher to win snaps. That thunder was just so loud.
Oh, I heard it. I usually don't hear it.
Like it's just right there. Is Caleb Harris just hitting somebody? No.
Right.
So I think Winters and Fagans are gonna would be Donovan Starr. Like I think all those guys are worthy of snaps. I just don't know if it's gonna be as much as this now true sophomore class is gonna have.
I think Newboy and Jared Smith have the ability to create more turnovers than we've seen. I know Jared on the as an edge, but if you talk about how to increase more, those guys, every time you see them, they have a Falk-like explosion to their game. When you watched Keldrick his freshman year, you went, that's different. That's different.
Yeah, sure.
And I think those guys have that ability. So I'm not saying they're going to produce 6 turnovers this year between the 2 of those guys individually, but I think they bring a more explosive element to the defense. Sort of like lightning and thunder.
That thunder was so loud that my mic came unplugged.
It sure did.
Undid my microphone.
Wow.
How does that even make sense?
I mean,
I got a notification like your mic's been unplugged. I think I'm talking through my webcam now.
You are now.
It's here.
You are now, but it just happened.
That's crazy. I didn't know they could do that.
I didn't either. The power of electricity. The Lord said, well, I've heard enough of Zach's take on this.
Yeah.
All right.
Are we done?
No, I have one more thing.
Yes.
I have to put this to bed because I worked really hard on it and I'm not ready to let go of it yet.
Okay.
We're 72 days away from kickoff. That's Too Tall Miller's number. I have a college football numbers proposal, and you're going to hate it, but I can't.
I bet I don't hate it.
I think you're going to hate it. This is extreme because I ran it by a few people yesterday, and they hammered me for it.
Okay, try me.
So here's what I think we ought to do across college football. I think we're way too caught up on who wears what number. I think the number's way more important to players than it ought to be. I think that you need to issue numbers to your starting offensive linemen at the beginning of the year. And if there are substitutions, then whatever. But your starting lineman, your left tackle 73, your left guard is 71, your center is 69, your right guard is 70, your right tackle is 72. Okay? Those are your 5 starting offensive linemen at the beginning of the year. And if there are injuries or subs or whatever, then
what's the center's number? Why'd you pick that?
Because you go so even numbers, okay, on the right.
Why are you starting at 69?
I don't know. I don't have a reason because that's the middle point of 73 and 72 if you work your way back.
But why are you okay?
If you start with 73 and 72 and you work your way back. Because 73 is like an anchor number for a left tackle. That's Lee Zimba, that's Marcus McNeil, that's your left tackle number. And Too Tall 72 already, so like you got that set. All right. Now let me take this extremism a step further. You ready for this?
I don't know.
You're going to hate it. Quarterbacks should be numbers 1 through 10. You can't have a number higher than 10. 1 through 10. Single digit number for quarterbacks. Corners are 11 through 20. Running backs are 21 through 30. Safeties are 31 through 40. Tight ends are 41 to 50. Linebackers are 51 to 60. Receivers are 81 to 90. Defensive linemen are 91 to 99. And you can't fill everybody with those. That's fine. There's going to be some spillover, but you're going to start with that baseline, and you're going to do it based on seniority and senior, so that's how you're going to do your numbers. And it's across the board for all of college football. So there you go.
I don't hate it. I just think it's really dumb.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Nice. What a terrible hat. Looks great on you, though.
So you said you worked really hard on that.
I did. Well, yeah. I mean, I plotted it out and gave it a lot of thought. And,
Why do you care what numbers they wear?
I just think it would look, I think it'd be better if there was some uniformity. It's a little more team oriented that way. Like, it's a little more, like when you go to the NFL, it's a little more that way. Like, you don't get to pick your, and I got nothing against the guys.
All you're doing is just like, there's already restrictions for number. You're just tightening it more.
Mm-hmm. And making it more uniform.
Got it. What happens if you need to, like, due to injury, need to move guys around on the offensive line? Do they change their number?
No.
That's just it at the start of the year.
That's a fair question, but no, like you get the honor of being number 73 if you're the left tackle.
Or what number if you're the starting center?
If
what
you're
honor
the starting
is that?
center, you're 69.
You get the honor of wearing 69 as the starting center.
Yeah. Okay.
Let us know your thoughts. Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. I can't wait to read them.
It's not about ego. It's how we go. You understand?
Sure.
As a team. So this is not an Auburn thing. This is just an everything. This is
no. You're fixing college football again. I'm thankful for you. So
I'm here to serve the people.
Thanks, buddy.
It's what I'm here to do.
I think that does it for today's show.
It does. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for liking the video and subscribing to the channel if you haven't yet. Almost to 7,500. So we appreciate it very much. Until next time, remember, everyone has vices. Some people's are uniform numbers. Everyone has vices. Make sure Village Vice is one of yours.